Five in the Dugout is sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
Mike, first of all, let's talk Sonny Gray. He was out there today, not real effective, but as they say, when starting pitchers don't pitch well, I was working on something.
Well, I think that was the case for Sonny today. You have to remember the home runs he gave up were, in my opinion, more wind-aided than anything else. The wind was a gale force today going out to center field. So all you had to do is get the ball up in the air, and he was going to leave the ballpark. I thought the three strikeouts that he displayed today showed me that he had a better command. He didn't throw a lot of fastballs. He worked on some breaking balls. I thought Sonny was okay for his first outing of the year. So I wouldn't put too much stock in the line score. As you mentioned, he was working on some things, and I think he had to be reasonably happy with the direction that he took today.
The guy I really want to talk about is Ivan Herrera, who had 2 doubles today. And Mike, you look back at last season, at such a young age, he hit .301 with an 800 OPS. What do you think about Herrera moving forward?
Well, I like the direction. He had 2 doubles a day, one down the left field line, one down the right field line. He's made a couple of small adjustments with his stance. You know, he has a very unique stance where his left foot is almost on the line of the batter's box. He's moved in just a little bit. His hands are a little closer to his body, and he looks like he has a little bit better back control. These were his first 2 hits of the spring, and they were impressive hits. And I think once a guy like that starts to have some confidence with his swing and the adjustments that he's made, you can see him go on a tear because he's going to get some playing time. He and Pages are going to be the 2 guys that are going to get a bulk of the catching. Crooks has been weaved in a little bit, but he's going to get enough at bats between catching and DHing.
Yeah, and Mike, we grew up in an era where there were not many catchers who could really hit. Now there's a few more, but in terms of his potential, I mean, he could be an elite offensive hitter, an elite offensive player for a catcher in this league for years to come, right?
He's a better hitter than he is catcher at this point. That's something he's still continuing to work at. But certainly he's a guy that has the position of catching, but maybe he plays elsewhere. But for right now, if he can hone his skills defensively and become a little bit better of a thrower, I think he has the tools to be a very consistent offensive catcher.
And do you think that's part of the thinking with Contreras to first base? They knew that they didn't want this guy on the bench a lot.
No, I mean, his bat, it can be a very valuable one, especially from the right side. When you think about how left-handed driven this ball club is, other than Arenado and Jordan Walker, you really don't, and now Contreras, you really don't have the every other right-handed pop in your bat. And if you have a guy like Herrera who can do some things with the bat, as I mentioned, he went to the right side, he went to the left side with 2 doubles. If you can have that sort of versatility, man, that's just a weapon that a lot of teams have not been able to game plan for.
One final thought on him. Mike, if he does get 500 at-bats, and I know he may not because it may be more of a platoon, but if he got 500 at-bats, what do you think his numbers could look like?
I think he's a guy that could be somewhere in that 275 range. And for a catcher these days, that's pretty good. I think he's a player that can probably hit anywhere from 15 to maybe 22 home runs, drive in 75 runs, depending on where he's hitting in the order and who's on base in front of him. But he can be certainly an offensive plus for you in your lineup. There's no question about that.
All right, let's talk about some of the relievers. We'll go one at a time. Chris Roycroft, what do you think about him moving forward? Had a nice outing today.
Chris Roycroft is a really good pitcher who's really starting to climb the ladder. You can talk to some who think he may have the makings of a closer at some point in his career. I mean, he's a big, strong guy. He really has a long stride, and it really explodes out of his hand. So he's a young man who's still trying to maintain consistency with his pitches and be more aggressive toward left-handed hitters. Once he masters that, Frank, you can have yourself a handful.
JoJo Romero, who I always think kind of reminds me of Al Hrabowski.
He has that sort of similar delivery. There's no question about that. JoJo was lights out today. He had 3 strikeouts, and they didn't get a whiff on any swing he threw up there today. Maybe the most impressive outing we've seen JoJo have since he's been with the Cardinals. I mean, Frank, he was mowing them down, and he was facing some reasonably good hitters for the Houston Astros. I was very impressed with him today.
And what's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, the Cardinals have tomorrow It is the Washington Nationals rolling in to take on the Cardinals at Roger Dean Stadium. And then this weekend, we have the New Yorkers rolling into town. We have the Mets and the Yankees rolling into Roger Dean this weekend. So some fun baseball here in Jupiter, Florida, as the Cardinals in the second week of spring training. And I think they have to feel good about the improvements they've made from week one.